Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks Part 2. If you didn't watch Part 1, you'll be totally lost. We need to get rid of these lines because these are the lines we use. Now, you want to do this before you rotate it. You could very easily go through here and get rid of these lines. But the outer lines can be dealt with another way. You just need to, you need to zoom in because there's little bitty lines like right there. So these are the lines we used when we rotated it around. And just be watching that you don't make any, you know what, he's got a box in the drawing. I saw it earlier and I forgot to mention it. We need to get rid of that. So if you do this, I'm going to ungroup all. When you do this, make sure that box is in there. I don't know where that box came from, but now we're through with it. Okay. And I'm not going to do the entire thing. Just make sure you don't get rid of something you need. Just make sure you get that line. See what, like that. Now, I'm not going to do that. Now, the other line, you can't do that to, because if we delete that, it's going to delete that. So what you have to do with everything unchecked or ungrouped, grab that and right click and break it apart. Then you could go through here and cut these lines. You have to cut every one of them, but we're only going to have to do this the one time. I was making sure it looked like something else disappeared, but it didn't. Because that line now doesn't go through there, it's not going to delete the other line. And see, this way, I'm just deleting that line that is there. We need that line. Now, when we get to the end here, it might cause us trouble. It's kind of hard to look at it this way because it looks like it's cutting away too much. But that's where the other one is going to meet it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. And I'm not going to bore people with doing the other side. Matter of fact, if you cut out, maybe if you cut out, you know what, let's try that. Let me just finish this real quick. I didn't even think about it. If you cut out all the lines, and you only have to do this one, then when we rotate it, the lines won't be there. But this is only going to work in this case, or any case, because it is symmetrical. Everything's perfectly even. It is a cool design. And I said earlier, while I'm doing this, I'll say, he's going to vector engrave it. Raster engraving, depending on how big this is, could take a long time. So what he's going to do, he's going to vector engrave this, where it's going to, and he's just going to like go like a 50 power at 100 speed, and it's going to fly through there and mark it, but not cut through. He's going to use wood, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And almost done. And then that way it'll just mark it. It's called vector. Now I wish I had not ungrouped both of them. But what we can do is still in the center of the page. That's going to cause another line maybe. It's way up there. Now, if you ever need to move a line, like just that 2 point, it'll stay in that parameter. Now, instead of deleting all this line, I'm going to delete the whole thing. But you have to make sure you get everything on that side of the line. And don't delete the line. See, we deleted the line. It's a little bit time consuming. But once you do this, and if I would have done this at the start, we wouldn't have this problem. And it's like I said, it's only going to work because it is symmetrical. Now, you have to get everything on that side of the line to out of the way. If you don't, it'll throw it off, even that, because Corel thinks it's all one piece and it's going to make it rotate funny. And I'm saving a lot of time, because if you had to smart fill every piece in, it would take, the whole thing, which would be a way to do it. It would take you an hour to make it even. Now let's take away our line and let's group this together. Control G to group. Now, I'm glad we're working in the center of the page because I've lost my center. But if we bring in indexing lines and hit P, and P, that's our center of our page and center of our line. So now I'm going to group this together, Control G, Control D to duplicate it, and rotate it that 36 degree. I don't know why I'm doing that tonight a lot. You need to move the center rotation to that center, 36 degrees. Nope, that's not what we need to do. We need to go here, Control D, holding down the control button and mirror it. I didn't do a very good job. I didn't have the two-sided arrow and I was holding down the shift key. Now there's something, see how I'm not in the center or I'm not on the edge? We've got something still hanging over. I missed it. And that'll cause it to do that. Now, Control D to make a duplicate. Holding down the control button and get the two-sided arrow. There's still something hanging over. I don't see it. Oh, it shouldn't be that line. Yep, there was a line there. Let me just look again. Normally, it's not that much of a deal. But in this case, we've got so many lines. Okay, we should be good to go. Control D to duplicate. Holding down the control button. I can see before I even moved it, there was something there. You know what? I'm going to go to view and wireframe. Boy, there's nothing that I can see. Go back to enhance. I'm pretty sure that line shouldn't be there. But that should not throw it off. That was just a line I missed earlier. What really kind of gets me is that when some of you at home are probably going, there it is right there, I can see it. See, the bounding box looks like it's over further than it should. Control D to duplicate it and move it over. Something's there. You know what I'm going to do is delete that. I'm going to get the yellow box trick out. Hopefully that'll show us. Object, order, backup page. Is my line not in the center of the page? Yes, it is. See, the bounding box is past. If you get a bounding box, well, it's going to be a little bit past. I am really kind of floored. You know what? Look, I can see a dot right there. That's going to irritate me. Look at that. One little bitty speck. Well, that's a good lesson. Control D to make a duplicate. Move it over. Oh, man. One of these, this is a video I wish I would. You know what we could do? that might not help though. I'll move that over. Let's make sure there's nothing there. Move it back. You know, there could be one little speck again. There it is. I can see it right there. Look at that. One little bitty speck. Speck of dust. Control D to duplicate it, hopefully. Let's cross our fingers. No, and then I mess it up. You've got to hold down the control button. There we go, we're done. Now, see, we don't have any lines. Everything, I'm sorry for the delay. Control G to group, Control D to duplicate. Rotate it 36 degrees. I've done that a lot tonight. Double click and move it to the center. 36 degrees. Okay, 72 degrees. My math is off tonight. Control D. Corel does that. 144 degrees. Control D, Control D. A perfect copy. Now, this video has been extremely long, so I'm going to make part 3 because this is really kind of like all one. It's a bunch of different pieces. And I don't think the weld tool will work because it's going to take forever. And if I figure out a better way, I'll make part 3. But if not, the weld tool should work and all the lines should be even. Anyway, hope that helped. Thank you for watching.